first conference of the year. This would be an ongoing event that we plan to hold every 3 months. So the next one after this is going to be in September. We're going to try and get a suitable venue for it. Thank you for joining me. Just a quick announcement. This is House Without Walls. We are a teaching ministry, and our vision, our goal, our aim is that through the teaching of the simplicity of the gospel, all will come to the knowledge of why they are saved, what they are saved from, and what they are saved into. Because we live in a time and age that people are being disillusioned. They don't have an idea of why they are saved, and they don't understand. We talk about being saved, we talk about salvation, we talk about their right as a Christian, as a child of God. A lot of people are still ignorant of it, even the Christians that have been going to church for ages. So the vision for us is to reach out with the gospel truth and for people to understand the reason behind why they are saved. Another quick announcement, if you want to be part of us in any way and any capacity, feel free to send me an email on info@housewithoutwars.org.uk. That's info@housewithoutwars.org.uk. We are a registered non-for-profit business. We are registered with the Company House of the United Kingdom. So you're free to connect and to look with us. We're looking for partners in every form, in every way, because we got a lot to do. We do mission trips, we take teams to go abroad to spread the gospel. We are looking to go to Romania by the end of July, God willing. And also in August, I'll be going to Kenya to support a dear friend of mine in the work they're doing in Kenya. So we need all the support and all the partners we can get. So that is that. So this is, like I said, Gospel Roadshow, and welcome to the first session. So in this session, for the 2 sessions, we'll be looking at the topic understanding the time and season. Because I believe that as a child, as a human being, we are governed, we are led by time and season. And if we don't know the time and the season that you're living in, you will live a life of frustration. We will live a life that is unfulfilling in every aspect of it. So that is why for today, for the next 20 minutes or so, we'll be looking at understanding time and season. So join me as we open our scriptures to the book of Genesis. Genesis chapter 8. We're going to start our journey from there. And look up Genesis chapter 8 and verse 22. Now, if you go to verse 20 with me, say, and Noah built an altar unto the Lord, and took of every clean beast, and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And the Lord, verse 21, and the Lord smelled a sweet savour, and the Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more every living thing as I have done. Now verse 22 is where we're going. He said, why the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. As long as the earth remains, God said, it says seed time and harvest, cold and winter. That means as long as the earth is still in existence, as long as the earth remains, seed time, seasons will not stop. So as long as the earth still remains in existence, as long as we are on this earth, seasons, time and seasons will never stop. Now, for us as human beings, we have different seasons in our life. Now, these seasons here can be related to us as human beings. For every creature, every human being goes through time and season in their life. It could be a time of season at your place of work. It could be a time and season in your own normal, in your own general lifestyle, in your own general well-being. There is a time and there is a season. But if you don't know it, if you have no understanding, and if you're ignorant of the time and the season that you are in, you're going to be frustrated. For we all go through it. A lot of people, even though they're in a well-paid job and they're in a well-paid position, they still get frustrated and they become depressed. Why does that happen? Because for the fact, probably it's a time for them to go back and think and make a change for their lives. If you go to the book of First Chronicles, I believe, First Chronicles chapter 12, I believe, First Chronicles chapter 12 and verse 32. First Chronicles chapter 12 and verse 32. It said, and of the children of Issachar, which were men that had understanding of the times, to know what Israel ought to do, the heads of them were 200, and all their brethren were at their command. He said, concerning the sons of Issachar, they were men that understood the time and the season they live in. He said their brethren were at their command. So that means the man or the person that will rule and command is one that understands its time and the season. For if you don't know the time you're living in, the enemy will have a field day in your life. If we don't understand the time and the season that we are living in, we will run like others. We will be confused. We start walking and we start laboring in vain. But when you understand the time and the season that you're living in, that will give your life focus. That will give your life purpose. That will give your life direction, because you know that you're not just walking, you're not just existing, and you're not just living your life to chance, because you know you are. For Paul said, he said, I fight not as one that beats the air. For a man that is a soldier, he said, he that weareth entangleth not himself with the affairs of this life, that he will please him that has called him. So for you not to be entangled with the affairs of this life, you must know where you are. You must know where you are going. You must know the time and the season that you live in. I'm going to read Matthew chapter 16. Matthew chapter 16 and verse 2 to 3. This is what Jesus said to the people of his time. Matthew chapter 3. Sorry, Matthew chapter 16, Matthew 16, sorry. Matthew 16 from verses 2 and 3. If you go back to verse 1, it said, and the Pharisees also went with the Sadducees, came and tempting, desiring him that he would show them a sign from heaven. And verse 2 and verse 3. He answered and said unto them, when it is evening, you say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning, it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, you can discern the face of the sky, but you cannot discern the signs of the times. Now, his rebuke for the Pharisees and the Sadducees, they know the weather. We, in our time, we can tell when it's snowing. We can tell when it's going to rain. We can tell when the weather is going to change or when it's going to happen. But when it comes to the signs of the time that we're living in, we are ignorant of it. For every time, for that is in this earth that we live in, there's a time for every season and a for the purpose that we live in. But if you don't understand it, and if you don't know it, you're going to run and you're going to live your life like everyone else. But that is not where we're called to. We are called to a life of purpose. We are called to a life of direction. We are called to a life that is enjoyable and worth living. But if you don't understand the time and the season that you're living in, we will struggle as a church, and as a body of God, as a body of Christ. We struggle if we don't know the time we're living in. In the book of John chapter 2, at the wedding of Cana, the Bible said that when they ran out of wine, Mary looked at Jesus and said, they have run out of wine. But Christ answered, said, woman, what have I got to do? For my hour has not yet come. For my time has not yet come. Christ understood the time that he lived in. He understood his purpose, and you know that everything is subject to the time. For timing is everything. It's like a woman that is pregnant. When it's getting close to 9 months, they try to limit the activities that are involved because they know that anytime soon they're going to have a baby. And they want to be prepared for that to happen. So they understand it because their body is telling them that this is going to happen anytime soon. But when it doesn't happen at the time they were expecting it, you see them getting more frustrated. You see things changing. But we as human beings, we know the time of everything. But it is only the time that we live in. Even when you look outside to the society and the country that we live in, there are things that are happening. But the child of God is caught up in the midst of it because we don't understand what's going on. Because we are ignorant of it. But with God, nothing is hidden and nothing is as a surprise to God. But to us as human beings, we are always surprised, but that shouldn't be. Because we are told that God has proposed in his heart to make us know the mysteries of the kingdom. The things that are hidden, that shouldn't be hidden to us. The things that the world are struggling to find out or trying to understand, to us as the children of the Most High God, it shouldn't be that way. Because unto us it is given to know the secret of the kingdom, because we are children of the kingdom of the Most High God. So when you understand your purpose, when you understand the time, when you understand the season that you are in, so when things comes your way, when things happens around you, you will have that assurance in your heart, and you will not be afraid, and you will not fret, and you will not be, what am I going to do next? But you know the time. For the sons of Issachar, they were men that understood the time that we are living in. The Bible said, and their brethren were at their command. If you go to book of Genesis chapter 49, that's where the history of the men of Issachar starts from. For those of us that don't know who they are, let's go back to Genesis chapter 49 and we'll take it from there. (49) and verses 14 and 15. It says, Issachar is a strong ass, crouching down between two burdens, and he saw that rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute. So Issachar was one of the tribes of Israel. For Jacob had 12 children, and Issachar was one of them. So when Jacob was blessing his children in the book of Genesis chapter 49, this was a prophecy concerning the men of Issachar and his generation. And now go back forward to the book of Chronicles. When they saw that David was the right person to follow, they jumped ship and followed David, because they understood that there's a shifting So they left. At first they were serving Saul, but then they shifted to David because they saw that God was with David. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes. That's always a popular chapter and a popular verse. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1. He said, to everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. To everything there is a season. To everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. Now if you go down to verse 17, he said, I said in my heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time. For there is a time there for every purpose and for every work. There is a time and there is a purpose. There is a time and there is a season. People will come into your life at every point in time of your journey. But if you don't know the reason and the time why they are there, when they leave unexpectedly, you'll be frustrated and you'll be disappointed. But know this, that at every point at every junction in your life, God will bring everything you need at that point. But if you don't understand it, you will lose it. If we don't understand the time and the season that we're living in, for Bible said that my people perish because they lack knowledge. If you don't know the time, if you don't understand the season where you are in, because there's a time and there's a season for you to be prosperous. There's a time, there is a season where I said that nothing is working, that whatever you're doing, there's no result. There is a season. But if you don't know, you'll be frustrated. But if you go back and ask your Father God what is going on, He will open your eyes of understanding. Because He said, my sheep, they hear my voice and they follow me. But if you don't hear the voice of your Father in that particular time and point in your life, then what happens? There'll be that depression will set in. That a lot of people have been in church for ages, but they don't know why they are there. A lot of people find themselves in a certain position, a certain situation in their life, but they don't know why they are there. Things gonna happen, but if you don't have an understanding of faith, I'm not trying to make us to become. I'm not trying to make us to become an FBI or a CIA that has to take a microscope and say, "Let me see what's going on." But God will always speak to your heart. God will always guide you. God will always instruct you. And God will always teach you. In the book of John chapter 7, there was a feast. Christ told the disciples to go, but he's not going to go because his time wasn't coming. His time wasn't there. Although we later learn that he went secretly to that same feast. But you should know when your time is. You should understand when the time is right for you. If you go to the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 9. Chapter 9 and verse 11 and verse 12. It said, I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happen to them all. Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 11. It said time and chance happens to them all. Time and chance happens to them all. Now if you go to chapter 8 and verse 6, verse 6 says, because to every purpose there is a time and judgment, therefore the mysteries of men is great upon him. There is, because to every purpose there is a time and judgment. That is a time and a season. We all go through the seasons of life. You go through winter, you go through summer, you go through spring, and you go through autumn. We know what happened during summer. Everything is blossom, everything is so good and green. But then when we go through winter, everything seems gloom and dark because there's no leaves on the tree. But you should know that the trees, they are still alive, but the leaves are gone. There is a time in our life that we feel as if we are not being productive and we're not being fruitful. Probably that's a time for us to dig deep and remain strong in the Lord, because that season will pass and summer will come again, or spring will come and then summer will come again in our lives. And God is faithful to his word, that when you pass through difficulties, he said, I am there with you. When you pass through fire, God is there. When you pass through difficult situations that you don't understand it, God is present with you. Time and season happens to everything. Time and season happens to everything. Time and season is the key for living a fruitful and a victorious life. You should know the time and the season that you're living in. That when things doesn't seem not to be going your way, you go back and you think and you know, and that will give you confidence and that will give you courage. In conclusion for this session, I'm going to read Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 6. I'm going to continue from Isaiah in our second session. But let me just read it now. Isaiah chapter 33. Verse 6, it said, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. It says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of your times. So when you're going through those difficult moments, wisdom and knowledge will keep you. So join me again at 1:35 for the second session of this conference. God bless you. I look forward to seeing you.